welcome back to the sweet sounds of sensei-pong. And watching with your seeing eyes and your hearing receptacles on the sides of your head of Starcraft 2, the visual novel.
Like and subscribe.
I don't know if I should keep those intros. I'm starting to question the comedic value of them. Welcome back, my name is sensei-pong, and to another Pong Plays. This is part 2 of the StarCraft visual novel. So let's carry on, shall we? I indulge in my curiosity of the first person I see, a dark-haired guy observing a match of StarCraft 2 from behind someone's shoulder. And that's where we left off. We entered a PC bang, if you remember. So let's check it out. It's basically an internet cafe. Are those things still around? Because I had one back back home here, and it didn't last very long. I think everybody just kind of figured, okay, well, I've got my own PC, or I can just go straight to the library, which is right across the street. Which is funny because everybody that goes to the library, it's like a 2-hour wait just to get on the computer, and you're sitting there and you actually want to do something important. You're trying to copy off papers, legal forms, whatever. Check your email for business. And what's that guy doing that you're looking straight at? No, it's okay, maybe he's checking his Facebook. That's okay, that's personal stuff. No, he's not doing that. He's playing Mud. Or he's playing Candy Crush. What the fudge? That's the public library for you. Excuse me, is there an event going on? This guy doesn't look friendly. The guy turns and looks at me like I'm speaking something other than Korean. After a brief silence, he responds, "Are you new to something? Have you not heard of All-Out Attack?" "Yeah, I am new. Just asking." He hums and glances away for a moment. Though he doesn't apologize, he does fill me in. Golden Zone Fire hosts a StarCraft 2 tournament called All-Out Attack once a month. It's one of the few places you will find a decent player outside of an online cup or a star league. Used to be a Brood War tournament, actually. I see, thanks, man. Who are you here to cheer for? He only stares in response. The guy walks away with a shake of his head, mumbling something about foreigners. The back of his shirt sports the Korean Pro Gamer Association logo. Oh, he must be a Brood War fan. None of the StarCraft teams under KPGA's regulations compete in anything except the original game Brood War. Understandably, they don't want to fracture a scene they've worked hard to build up. And that's lucky for those of us trying to keep from drowning in a game that's already deep in talent. KPGA players train for unbelievable hours. Well, I came here to practice. Now I'm presented with an excellent chance to do so if that guy said is true. A few stares follow me as I walk forward to put my name on the sign-up list. I must look like a tourist in over my head. I'm definitely not the first foreigner to go abroad for eSports, but most come to South Korea only once they have results of fame. After paying for an hour's worth of PC time at the front desk, I settle for a station that has a mouse and keyboard similar to my setup back home. A few minutes later, I join my opponent's game lobby just in time for it to start the first round. His name isn't familiar, so I check his profile to see is ranked midway through Master League. Not bad for a casual player. He seems eager enough to rate. He's spamming Google in the pre-game chat. The game gets underway once I confirm that I'm ready. Workers, minerals, Vespine gas in a command center. I start out every match with only these resources. Keep messing up these words. These resources at my disposal. It's my job to turn them into something that can defeat my opponent. Generally, that means I need to build structures capable of training units for my army. My build order determines how to end up the match. How my end of the matchup plays out. Okay. This game, I've opted for a quick Hellion attack. Not only will it offer me a chance to deal some damage to my opponent, but it will also allow me to scout. But it seems I don't have much to worry about. My opponent went for the greedy build order, focusing entirely on his economy instead of his army. Unfortunately for him, the match isn't going to last long enough for that risk to pay off. My Hellions make short work of a single queen and handful of Zerglings. With his front line out of the way, I'm free to rush into his mineral line and roast his workers, denying him the resources he needs to muster an army. Boom! Facing from the marine reinforcement, it's not long before my Zerg opponent types out 2 letters. GG. Easy! As soon as the victory screen displays, anxiety floods out of my body. Starcraft is tense. It's an exaggeration to say that there's never a moment to relax until a match is over. Bristling with confidence, I get up to check my next opponent. And it's... boom, Akele. I draw my lips in line and let my shoulders slouch. Well, that's the end of this tournament run. Akele, or Acel. I'm going to say Acel. That's... I don't know. Acel. Acel. Akele. Akele is one of South Korea's strongest Terran players. He's well known for his old-school cred, balanced playstyle, and friendly banter. He lost in the round 8 of last season's VSL, a respectable finish, if not a high-paying one. From what I remember, Akele is a damn good Brood War player, and he was out of his prime when the sequel hit last year, so it makes sense that he switched. While I'm considering what sort of rush I should do to steal a win, I feel a tap on my shoulder in turn. Huh? So you are a foreigner. And I find none other than the man himself standing there. This is a bit surreal, considering I've followed Akele's play for about as long as I've been into Starcraft. Luckily, his nonchalant manner disarms my surprise. Yeah, I think we play the next round. I'm Mach, a Terran. He misses a beat before regaining his smile, likely surprised that I understood that and then answered him. Yeah, I saw you won the game, not bad. It's not common to see foreigners at all-out attack. Are you on a team? I'm not. Trying to find one though. I'm sure you know how that goes. I grin stupidly, which Akele doesn't seem to mind. He pauses to scratch his cheek before responding. Well, good luck. Don't expect another easy match. You too, I mean, thanks. God damn it. At least he laughed. My stress from before is mostly gone. If I lose, big deal. I'm expected to lose. If I win, I beat Akele. I'm still chewing over which cheese I should perform before finally deciding just to play standard. Oh, I shouldn't squander the rare chance to practice against a top player. He and I banter back and forth in the pre-game lobby for a bit before the game gets underway. Give me a second. Is there cheese? Cheese. An unexpected strategy that relies on lack of information to surprise the opponent. Cheese builds typically revolve around an early attack that, if undetected, is more difficult to defend than execute. Okay. That makes sense. Let's return. I was like, well, I'm confused. Because when I heard that, I'm like I said, I'm not that big of a StarCraft player, so I don't really know the terms. But that's funny. Cheese. He and I banter back and forth and pre-game when the game gets underway. Old school Brood War Terran plays classic Marine tank style. Probably about to crush me. Oh, I didn't read that. Dang it, I was reading that. I was trying to see if I can click on Akele's thingy here, but it doesn't. It only makes a potential victory all the more tantalizing. It's a chance to prove that to myself I've got what it takes. Even if I decided playing standard, I've still got a decision to make and how to execute my mid-game strategy. This map is well suited for a Hellion attack. I'll have plenty of room to poke around his expansion since it lacks a choke point. An attack by air might also be a strong option. The distance between our bases is relatively long by land, but it'll take a Banshee less than 5 seconds to travel from mine to his. I'm confident with both styles. It just doesn't matter how I want to execute the attack. Oh my gosh, okay. So either I can hit and run with the Hellions or do an air assault with the Banshees. I like the idea of... Well, he's good. So I can see him possibly, like, seeing the game I was in before. I did a quick Hellion attack anyways. He might be expecting that. It's, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if someone's comfortable doing a certain strategy, they're going to stick with that strategy. Kind of like me when I play chess. I normally don't lose with a bird's opening, which is a terrible opening, but that's only because that's the opening I practiced a whole crap load of, only because people don't expect it. Whereas something like a Sicilian opening, I'm not, yeah. I tend to have like a 50-50 win-lose rate, and if I'm going against someone good, I'm probably going to lose. It's like a 20-80% win rate with a Sicilian. So he's probably going to expect the Hellion attack. So I'm going to... I like, in RTS games, I tend to like the quick Blitzkrieg thing. I have nicknames for everything that make sense, but because Blitzkrieg, World War II, the Panzer attack on Poland by the Nazis, look it up in a history book. It'll make sense to you. But that would kind of go in with the air assault with the Banshees. But that's just for straight up destruction. I'm not... He'd expect both, honestly. So you know what? I'm overthinking this. Hit and run with the Hellions, yo. I produce my Hellions 2 at a time and send out my first 4 across the map. It takes a few extra seconds to clear out the space between our bases. Confident I have enough breathing room to prepare for my first attack. My Hellions make a beeline for his natural expansion's worker line with some decent micro on my part. I managed to secure a few worker kills before ordering a retreat. A lesser player may have sacrificed 4 Hellions for more economic damage, but I've practiced this style enough to know that I'll lose map control without them. This game is going insanely well. I thought Akele took his expansion before I did. The damage he took puts us on even footing. I follow up with an army of Marines, Marauders, and dropships, the bread and butter of most Terran players. Since I cleared the space between our bases, he's in the dark about the timing of this next attack. There's a solid chance that I could do enough damage here to end the game. But just as I arrive in the outskirts of Akele's expansion, one of his dropships uploads a handful of Marines in my base. That's going to slow down my ability to reinforce. Whoa, shit! My focus on the drop in my main. Akele rushed into the army I left outside of the base while I wasn't paying attention. He got a concave formation on me. Dang it! And just like that, my advantage evaporates. Though I managed to stay in the game for a bit longer, Akele wisely guards his lead by immediately taking a third base. Boom! Soon enough, his second dog. You like my sound effects? They're ultra realistic. His economic advantage is reflected in the size of his army. After my blunder, Akele's play is airtight. There really wasn't anything for me to do. With a groan, I offer a GG and concede the match. Oh. I didn't exactly throw my lead, but I did get seriously outplayed. Fantasizing about how a victory would have felt doesn't help me keep my mind off the loss. Knowing that I did my best only helps so much. But not a moment later, Akele turns in the corner with a smile and raised eyebrows. Good game, man. You're actually not bad. I assumed you were here for the fun or something. Oh, thanks. I'm here for fun, though. You played really well. I'm surprised most foreigners don't hit timings like that. Good vision control, too, and your scouting was top-notch. Really not on a team? Are you at least staying at a team house? Oh, are you studying abroad? Nothing like that. I'm staying by myself in an apartment by the VSL studios. So you came to Korea alone and on your own dime, and you're not just visiting? Yes? I do my best not to seem awkward about my answer, but any reason to worry disappears when Akele smiles. It takes some serious guts to move out here like that. I can't think of a single person who's made it out here on their own. A few nearby competitors watch our conversation. It's probably not often that Akele gives his attention to a random nobody he crushes early in a bracket. I've got some time before my next game. Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. Oh, sure. With a nod, Akele leads me into the PC area to the back of the cafe. We pass a number of known players on the way there, most lounging around no differently than the cafe's other patrons. Maybe they aren't that different. I guess even professionals like to kick back and tingle the cords and rush off caffeine every now and then. Games shouldn't be all about business all the time, although I'd bet that KPGA executives disagree. Akele comes to stop away from the constant tapping of keyboards. He then plops himself in a seat against the wall and invites me to join him with a wave of his hand. As I take my seat, I look up to find someone I recognize at his side. Jet. Oh, Jet, a Zerg and former VSL champion. She won Starcraft 2's very first grand final back in the beta. A year ago, she might have been the game's most famous player. Her flippant and inflammatory antics have made her a somewhat controversial figure. She rarely GGs and isn't afraid to trash talk on stage. And there she is, just sitting there. It's all I can do not to stare. A smile plays on her lips and she glances past me to Akele. Akele, seriously, stop promising my autograph as a reward for beating you. Hilarious. He can understand you, by the way. Who are you up against next round? Some Zerg dishwasher at LHT/ I hate ZVZ. Jet rolls her eyes back to me. After a brief appraisal, she lifts her chin and speaks a single word. Name. What? Oh, I'm Mach, a Terran. I'm I'm teamless. Jet shifts his gaze back to Akele, as if to ask, why'd you bring this noob back here? But before she can actually say anything, Akele comes to my defense with an easy smile. Hey, cool with the judgment until you've seen him play. Plus, you ever heard of a foreigner that came out here alone just for Starcraft? My man right here did. You have to admit, that's brave. If that endorsement wasn't convincing enough, he offers one more of his classic grins for good measure. The response seems to satisfy her for now. While I try to keep from showing anything to contradict Akele's assessment, Jane aims her attention back to me. Didn't see your name on the list of people who made it past the VSL qualifier How do you place? I lost my second to the last match. The qualifier before that, I dropped out in the final game of the last series. 2 attempts without making it, huh? Hard to tell much from that. Mainly depends on the bracket you had. How do you live out here with no team? Do you stream or something? I used to stream, but I don't get enough viewers to make any money. My following is pretty small. Small is an understatement. Non-existent is closer to the truth. So your parents pay for everything? No. I'm here on my summer job earnings and a little bit of extra from my grandparents. How lucky. I never got any handouts. This isn't going very well. Still, Akele looks as collected as ever, watching with a smile as the interrogation continues. Did you play Brood War? Not really. I mean, I had a copy as a kid, but I wasn't good. Had to cheat to even finish the campaign. Oh, then you were only a little bit worse than Jet. Jet scowls silently at the jab. It's true that the 2 years she spent playing Brood War were mostly unremarkable. Then, this is your first try at a professional gaming? When I nod, she gives me a hard look. Why are you out here? What do you mean? I'm sure aware of your chances. It's been more than 5 years since a foreign pro gamer accomplished anything noteworthy in Korea. I know what she's getting at. It's not like I have a particularly great or unique answer. I scratch behind my head and look away. I mean, why else? I want to become better at... why else? I want to become better at Starcraft. Everyone knows that Korea is the place to do that. And why is that? Well... Because I missed it. No, I'm asking... I accidentally hit the enter. I'm asking you why you want to become better. It feels like she forcibly extracted the truth from me. All the same, I can't leave her expression unanswered. I do my best to avoid showing the embarrassment I feel in my honest response. Because I want to be a champion. I want to be the best of the best. Or at least show I can compete at that level. Everyone who plays the game wants that, don't they? You're right about one thing. Every idiot that makes it to the Grandmaster takes a map off the good player thinks they're pro gamer material. A champion, huh? Sheesh. She clicks her tongue and sighs, but doesn't seem displeased. Well, at least any more so than usual. And with that, let's wait and see if Mach becomes the best of the best there ever was to catch them all. Next one, that's about it. Like and subscribe. I was trying to think of something witty. I couldn't think of anything.